Um, really? You know,
Okay, question. Coach, what are your thoughts on tomorrow's matchup?
well, we're excited to be playing, obviously. A little rematch from a year ago when we played them. They're one talented hockey team, and watching their power play on film, we can't take penalties, guys. They're dangerous. Um, but our experience came through last night, and we're banking on it again. That we've got guys that have got a lot of experience now in these one and done deals, and we can continue to grow from it.
Perfect, thank you, Coach. But that will open up for questions for this athlete. Please wait down the microphone, identify your name and your outlet.
Randy Johnson, Minneapolis Star Tribune. Carl, what does it mean for you to be in this tournament? You've had a long road to get here.
Yeah, it's a special moment. Obviously the U means everything to me. And things happen the past 3 years. We've had a talented decor since I've been here, and um, I'm grateful for everything that's happened within the 4 years I've been here, and um, I'm just extremely thankful that I get to play with some of the guys I grew up with and continue playing this tournament, and it's been a lot of fun so far.
Jess Myers from the Rink Live. Ryan, the penalty notwithstanding, Omaha wanted to play a kind of a heavy, hard-hitting game. It seemed like you guys got into that game as it went on. Did it kind of give you some confidence that, hey, you want to try and body us, we can play that game as well?
Yeah, a little bit. Obviously, we knew they were going to be a physical team going in, and I think that's an underrated aspect of our team. We can kind of play anyway, so we can play physical, gritty that way too, so we can compete with a lot of different teams.
Ryan, Bernie Corbett, GoTerriers.com. I was just looking at your bio, and I actually conferred with Jess Myers. You didn't play any Minnesota high school hockey. How do you get away with that without being arrested and deported?
Yeah, I know. I got a lot of stuff from that from my friends back home from leaving and not playing high school, but thankful for every opportunity I've had along the way. So I think I've made some good decisions.
Eitan Schoenberg, Minnesota Daily. Carl, how do you feel like the defensive group has progressed at this point in the season?
I think we've gotten a lot more confident back there. We get reassured by, Bob and Steve on the back end. So I think throughout the year we've gotten more confident in the plays that we make, and we trust, that our forwards are going to make the next play. The systems that we run with our game, I think we just know what's going to happen, and we just feel confident of the plays we're going to make, and we make a strong play and a hard play, and we know we have faith in everybody on our team to make the next one.
For either player, with the knowledge that your focus is obviously on the next 60 minutes of hockey and probably not much else, I'm guessing both of you have seen Miracle at some point. Just how much fun is it to be part of this kind of rivalry with Boston University that goes back literally 50 years?
Yeah, it's a really cool rivalry. A lot of talented players, a lot of well-known names, so it should be a fun one for sure.
Hey, I'll jump in. They don't even know the movie Bull Durham. Like, we got in a big argument this year, and none of them have seen the movie Bull Durham. So, like, you go ask them about 1980. I'm not sure they even know about it. So, it's crazy.
For either of you guys, how I guess impressed and excited was the team for what Jackson accomplished last night?
Well, I've been with him. This is my 4th year with him now. And the things that he did last night are nothing new to me, for sure. He's been doing it in all 4 years that I've seen him. But it's super exciting seeing what he can do, and especially since he lives about 30, 45 minutes away from here. So it's a cool moment seeing what he can do, and having everybody in the stands watching him last night as well.
Carl, I got to ask you, it looked like you had a chance to shoot last night, but then you deferred to Jimmy. But what was your thought process there?
Well, earlier in the game, I kind of shot one and it got blocked, and I'm pretty sure he was open on the backside. So I got back to the bench to talk to him, and he was screaming on that shift. So I figured I'll let him shoot from now on, and I'll just get behind him.
Okay. On that note, I think we'll let Brian and Carl get on with their day. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here. Appreciate you. And we will now open the floor for motions for coach. You guys can-
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Thanks, guys.
Good job. Bob,
Unique situation, obviously, to bring a team back after what happened at the end of last year. Coaches talk about motivation from one year to the next, but what about your observation of this team's motivation from what happened in Tampa to get back to where they are now?
it's been asked a few times this week, and like, I mean, I'm going to repeat what I said back. We're going to take that loss to our grave, but it's over. Yeah, it's over. Like, it really is. Like, you know, can I use my line again? Like, I'm a Minnesota Vikings. They are going to win a Super Bowl sometime. Like, would you quit? Like, oh, geez, never again? Like, new group of guys, just started over. Do I wish we would have been different? But it isn't. So it has no bearing. It can have no bearing on us moving forward. And all we can control, what we control moving forward with this group of guys. And it was, you know, I've been doing this a long time. We wanted to get back in the tournament. And then now we've all learned when you get in the tournament that, yeah, you know, we go back to Yale as the last team in, Providence is the last team in. Anybody can win. And then you want to be playing your best hockey at the end of the year. And then it's survival. We survived last night. We got an opportunity to get back to a Frozen Four. And there's no thought on last year or there isn't. There really isn't. I mean, it's, you know it. You're going to carry it with you. You know, I wish I could tell you take big wins to your grave. You don't. You take the losses to your grave. But we got a new group of guys that care. We're going forward. So we want to crack at it. And tomorrow we get a crack to get back there.
But for a lot of us, Sioux Falls is a new experience. For you, it's kind of back to the future to get back to Sioux Falls. Different to you now? I mean, the skyline must be a lot different. They built all those tall buildings here.
It's incredibly different. And I went into that the other day, that just the facilities. This wasn't here when I coached in the practice facility, which is gorgeous. If anyone ever take a minute and go over to Augustana and see the rink they built. It's gorgeous. To think that this city now has this building and that building and their practice facility and 700 youth hockey players from a hockey standpoint. And then the city, it's a great city. It's kind of a hidden secret here. No, we're done with the Merc. I don't think it's there anymore, is it?
Bob, can you just talk about the decision to bring Jimmy Clark in for this season? And, you know, last night, again, you saw some of those kind of flashes of brilliance we've seen from him. Just how excited are you about his future?
Well, you know, obviously we lost when we lost Logan late. We had, you know, we were short of forward, and the portal was closed, and yet I went out to watch him late in the year, and he's a heck of a player, and we brought him in early, and we've done that 2 years in a row now, where we've went with a young freshman, and what you saw is last night we saw in glimpses during the year is our future with him. So you know, and those are great building blocks in a young man's career to make a play like that. And he's been down because he hasn't scored in a while, and that wasn't like, that's not like a fourth line guy that got a goal. He's going to do that a lot in his career, and it was big for him. Really happy for him that it happened. It was a huge goal for us. Lamb. Both came in as young freshmen, and you know, and now we're you know, it's kind of what we've been doing, build through, you know, our farm system.
That's what I was about to ask about with earlier in the season, you talked about Lamb and Kurth being the players that stepped up toward playoff time last year. Who do you feel has made great strides in their game, starting in the Big Ten tournament as well?
Well, I'll actually, the what's happened for our team this year, you know, compared to it's been the older guys who are stepping up right now. And, you know, it's for like our 3 fifth-year players and the impact they had in the game last night. And then Carl Fish, who, you know, kind of had to wait his turn to get in there. And, you know, I've said this and people haven't believed me, that our decor is not very different than a year ago. And that might have been one of the best decors in the history of college hockey. And right now they're outstanding. And Carl Fish has filled in great. So if there's a drive for us right now, it's our older guys. I think Aaron Hughlin last night as an upperclassman really stepped up. And we're seeing that, you know, Cal Thomas, you know, he's secretly one heck of a hockey player, and Ches and Middlestat, you know, so we kind of got that older mix with then some of that, you know, that sophomore class, or there were 10 freshmen a year ago, there are 9 sophomores this year. That where other teams have a lot of transfer players, we got that young group to mix with that old group. So it's been been challenging at times, but that's what's leading us right now. Those older guys are kind of leading the way for those young guys jumping on board.
Bob, what has Carl Fish done to improve his play and his development, yet still biding his time like he had to?
Well, I mean, let's face it. It's 2 summers ago. I've told you, no one thought that Faber, Lacombe, and Johnson were all 3 coming back. Like we would have. I'm not a bettor, but we would have laid a lot of odds in Vegas that we weren't getting all 3 back, and Carl would have been. And then we had those 3 coming in, and that was an aberration. One by one at the end of the season, I'm coming back, and so and Carl stayed with us, and so he would have played more. And then during the Olympics that one year, I think he was undefeated in World Junior Olympics every time he got in, filled in for us when we had guys that were missing. And he's a true leader, and he's got a heart. He's all heart and soul, part of our program.
Coach, you kind of touched on a little bit of your history with Sioux Falls. Obviously, you've got the proximity here, so you'll have plenty of fans in the building tomorrow.
Yep.
Certainly a lot of casual hockey fans around here, probably still rooting for you from what they remember from the Stampede days. And there's obviously a lot of Jackson Nelson fans from around here. Does having that kind of a bit of a home ice advantage tomorrow matter in a game like this?
Yeah, well, if our players don't remember Bull Durham, people here aren't going to remember me. So
A little bit.
that was a long time ago. But the fact that, you know, we're kind of banking, we just had the snowstorm and hopefully the warmer weather, that's kind of scared, we think, some people from traveling. Because last year our fans were awesome in Fargo, and we're letting it out that it's the same distance to get here. And I think we're going to see, you know, a pile more Minnesota people coming tomorrow because our fans have been incredible, and we should have a great turnout.
Well, and you mentioned that you take the losses to your grave. Obviously, they had the semifinal a year ago. In a game like this, when they're maybe a little driven by that revenge, can that be what does that factor into a game like that tomorrow night?
Sports. Both teams have jerseys. Both teams want to win. You know, it still comes down to, you know, not making mistakes and keeping it simple, and both coaches are going to try to get their teams on that track.
Bob, I know you said you didn't coach in this building, but I don't know if you saw the number 19 Thomas Bannock hanging up there. Does it make you feel pretty good, make you feel at home a little bit, knowing your history with him?
Awful good player. I've always said I'm a really good coach when I got really good players, and he sure made us pretty good when he was here at 15, 16 years old, 17. Then when he came to Minnesota, so he's a special person, special player.
Perspective on your goalie, who I believe played 4 games his first 2 years. Now he's a record-setting goalie, and there's been some pretty good goalies that have come through the Gopher program. Just to get some insight about that.
Well, Brent, these guys have heard the story, but I'll tell you since you asked. It's, one of my assistants saw him play in a tournament, and we were looking for a third goalie. And he met him, and he just loved him as a kid, so we brought him in on a visit. It was a walk-on. And so at the end of his first year, he didn't play. He might have got I don't even know if he played a game his first year. And then that's usually when you ask a goalie, are you going to, because you have to have a third goalie, a practice goalie, and are you going to stay? He goes, Coach, I love it here, and I'm going to do everything to help the team, and if you ever need me, I'll be ready. And he meant it when he said it. And I go, that's pretty cool, this kid. And then, and we had some great goalies when I got here, and the situation changed at Christmas when we had a guy sign and go pro. And when we looked down and said, you're in, the biggest thing was his teammates love him. Like, he is the backbone. And did any of us think that that was going to happen? Not a chance. And he's been good from the moment he's got in. And so I've always said that the fool in the whole thing is me, why I didn't play him earlier. Because and it's just one of the more remarkable stories in my coaching career to see how it played out, to where, he's just isn't playing like it's not like a Rudy where he got in. He's been an elite goaltender in college hockey, and he couldn't be a better person.
It's Minnesota's John Curry.
Yeah. Kind of ironic. You took a Minnesotan, we took a Canadian, a Saskatchewan.
You got a Minnesota guy.
Yeah.
Staying on the topic of goalies, you got Nathan Airy behind Justin Close. What does it help having this experience here playing in the regionals?
Well, the truth we'll find out, but we think we got a world of faith in him. I mean, he's our goalie of the future, and he would have been in more this year too if he wouldn't have been hurt. As you all know, he missed the whole first half, and his attitude and his work ethic is, we just got to get him in there, and I hope it starts out, but we'll have a story for next year. But we got a lot of faith in him, and he knows that.
That, let you go, Coach. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Good luck tomorrow night. Thank you for being here.